Step into the new when you drive a Chevy. It's time for a fresh approach and a new perspective. And find the Chevy that's right for you. Find new experiences, find new roads. Chevrolet.
Hey, welcome back to High School Game Day here on the Missouri Sports Network. Missouri Sports Network, where everyone has a home field advantage. Week 8 of the high school football season, rivalry week, and to that end, we go north to the Maryville Spoofhounds head football coach, Matt Webb. And Coach Webb, hey, thanks for your time today.
Thanks for having me, guys. It seems like we were just eating pizza yesterday, so glad to talk to you again. What are you doing tomorrow? Let's talk or eat some lunch somewhere tomorrow.
Hey, you bet. You bet. Maybe later on tonight, if you get a big win, you're taking on a very good Savannah team tonight, who have won 10 in a row in this recent history here. And to that end, the last time they won was back in 2011 in an overtime game, and you weren't the head coach of that team. And looking at Savannah, Anthony Hayes was not the head coach of any of those 10. So kind of a new start here. What are you going to have to do to beat a very good Savannah team?
Well, like I said, that we've been able to kind of have this rivalry the last 10 years, and it's been a lot. It's a really fun traveling trophy. It's literally just a metal highway sign. Highway 71 kind of connects our two communities when you come off out of St. Joe there and head north into what we call God's country, which is Nottoway County, and what they call the team down south is that Andrew County down there. So it's a lot of fun with two communities. It's a metal sign that the coaches before, both Coach Hayes and I, kind of started, and it's not made out of gold, or it's not a fancy cup, or it's just a literally highway sign that is a traveling trophy, and the kids and the communities take a lot of pride in it. Anytime you play your rival, it's important. But this year's group and this year's game that we'll be playing tonight is Savannah. This is by far the best team. Coach Hayes has done an outstanding job of installing his offense and defense in his first year there. And beyond that, he really has the kids believing. You can see on the sideline the passion that they play with. They beat they beat a defending state champ in East Buck back earlier in the season. And then, they've really been able to kind of just steamroll the conference up to this point with 2 weeks left in the regular season.
As you look at the like opponents that you've had this season, pretty comparable scores. What can you glean from those previous games amongst the like opponents? What are you looking at film there? What are you trying to take advantage of?
Well, pregame and as a coach, I'm thinking hopefully that means we're pretty even match, pretty even match teams. We've been able to be successful on offense and score a lot of points and have a lot of playmakers and doing some really good things offensively, just like Savannah has against like opponents. And then, defensively, we've been able to, stop the option against Cameron. We've been able to kind of hold down a wing T attack against Benton. And, they have not played St. Pius yet. So that's probably the other team that's in our conference. They play them next week. So that's probably the one opponent that's not the same as we've seen.
Coach, as you go into this, first off, I know it was extremely windy yesterday when I was up there, and it appears to be the same today. What is the weather? What role will that play into tonight's contest?
Well, welcome to Northwest Missouri. I was born and raised here, and been back, for the last 10 years. And yeah, the wind always blows up here. It's amazing. We usually get the fronts from kind of the Lincoln and Omaha area, and that northern clippers, we call them. So yeah, it doesn't matter. You could be out on the golf course here, and the wind's at your back. You can hit a really nice ball. If it's in your face, you better learn to play the wind. So we're used to it. We're both teams. I think it'll always be a factor. We played Savannah a couple years ago in a snow game. It was 2 inches of snow on the ground, and we ended up and played them in the playoffs and in our district. When we were both Class 3 like we are this year. So weather up here, you just deal with it. I have a saying that you make your own weather. It doesn't matter what it is outside. It's always sunny and 60 in my mind. A little south breeze, beach somewhere fishing. So you got to make your own weather. Go out there, and weather doesn't affect how you play.
Coach, if I'm to get up in the morning and look at the score and see that Maryville defeats Savannah, what one or two stats are you going to point to that you have to win those stats, whether it be turnovers, penalties, What are two stats that you're going to have to control tonight to win this game?
Well, I think we're going to have to really be really good on defense. What they do offensively, what Coach Hayes has brought in, is very different than what they've done in the past, and they're very good at it. You look at last year's game, and we don't, it's every year, with especially the rivalry games, we don't put a lot into the previous year's game, but last year, we beat Savannah 42-0, and really we were able to just kind of execute our normal offensive plays and work ourselves down the field, and defensively, we really just kind of stopped them all night. And this is a very different team. So I think number one, defensively, we're going to have to keep the score down. We can't get into a shootout against Savannah tonight. They're really good on offense, and that'll be a hard stat. And the other one always is turnover margin. Like you said, we last week, we lost the turnover margin to a really good Lutheran North team. We lost the game. You look back on our 3 losses this year against St. Pius, we lost the turnover margin, special teams and field position, and some of those things that, maybe not looking at necessarily the stars or star quarterbacks or star tailbacks or those type of things, but all those process football stuff, where you talk about, field possession and turnovers and special team impact in the game positively or negatively. Those will be the stats that'll be interesting to see.
Well, very good, Coach, and I greatly appreciate you being generous with your time here on a game day, and we're trying to track down Coach Hayes and for rebuttal, I guess, so to speak. But no, and two of my favorite people up in that area. I've known you for a long time. You've been part of the Missouri Sports Network for several years. Anthony Hayes coached in the area for several years, and both outstanding people and outstanding football coaches. And I just hope it's a great game and everybody stays healthy, and we'll see what happens.
You bet. Thanks, Guy. I always appreciate you.
You bet. Matt Webb, Maryville Spoof, right here. Be back after this.